Brilliance Audio presents Nancy Wake, World War II's Most Rebellious Spy, by Russell Braddon. Performed by Nico Evers-Swindell. A rebel, always laughing and very, very feminine. That's the best way to describe Nancy Wake. Although one could add that she had the disconcertingly direct stare of an infant child. Candid, unhurried and perceptive. And a child's serene brow. Her eyes were hazel ordinarily, but they went green when she cried and blue when she walked outside on a fine day. As a 12-year-old, she was a brilliant pupil in an Australian high school. Even then, she cooked the household meals and often had to clean the house, and she didn't like these tasks at all. She ran away from home twice. At 18, she was a nurse, cheerful and popular with the inmates, in a country mental hospital. In her early 20s, she began a world tour, supporting herself by freelance journalism, her sales stemming from good looks and personality as much as from an adequate literary talent. She earned enough to live and to keep moving. When she was 22, she took a flat in Paris and, with her first wage packet, bought 2 wire-haired terriers. One a dog, one a bitch. And these she promptly named Piquant and Grenadine, as a compliment to France's drinking habits. She always loved Piquant most, and it was he who was to live right through the next fantastic 7 years of her own life, so that when he died after the war, she wept for days. Friends asked her why. After all, he was only a dog. And she replied, "If you love dogs, you'll know part of the reason. The other part is that when Piquant died, the last of my youth died too." By then, of course, she had spent almost the entire war fighting the Nazis in France. She had become a distinguished resistance leader. She had earned more decorations than any other British servicewoman, and she had lost her husband to the Gestapo torturers in Marseille. Piquant had lived through it all, and now he was dead, and she felt that the last link with her life as a girl had vanished. So she wept. But we run ahead of time. When she was 23, she was a considerable beauty, and had the dubious compliment paid her one evening of being strenuously pursued round and round the Cannes Palm Beach casino by a wealthy sheik or pasha. She wasn't sure which. Eventually, she cooled his ardor by introducing him to her fiancé, Henri Fiocca, a Marseille steel industrialist who was equally as wealthy as the sheik or pasha, whichever he was. She had first met Henri Fiocca at a party. He was 14 years older than she, and his partner, on that occasion, was an incredibly beautiful young woman. The next evening, he contrived to be at the same restaurant as Nancy and her friends, and his companion was another beautiful young woman. Nancy's group moved on to a nightclub, and later Fiocca turned up again, this time with a third beautiful woman. "For heaven's sake," Nancy exploded. "How does he do it?" "He has great charm," one of her companions pointed out. "I'm not saying he hasn't," she replied. "But all those gorgeous-looking girls. How does he do it?" Her partner shrugged. "Henri has more girls than you have ever seen," he assured her. For weeks it went on. Finally, Nancy, who could not bear to understand, tackled Fiocca bluntly on the subject. "How do you get on to so many beautiful girls?" "They ring me up." "They ring you up?" "Yes," he sighed. "Every girl, except the one I want, rings me up." He looked at her quizzically as he spoke, and she, understanding at once what he meant, stared at him very straightly in reply. "If you want to speak to me on the phone, Fiocca," she announced finally, "you will ring me up." He did. He courted her and wooed her, and a little while later, despite his enraged family's objections, he announced his engagement to her.